Wanna fight?
Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm in my jammies. My hair is wet, washed, like set to be poofy. Like I look like an absolute dork. What are you doing? She's dancing a weird dance for you. Anyway, I look awful, but I have
No, I
not.
think it looks cool.
You do? She likes it. But I haven't read for days, almost a week, I think. It's been one thing after another.
Yeah, we've been doing events.
Yeah, we have been doing events. We did a unexpected last minute event for someone who couldn't cover, and it was in Vero Beach, so it was like a 2.5-hour drive. But first I had to go the opposite direction to go pick up the kit, the setup from my boss. So it was actually like a 3-hour drive to get to Vero Beach. We helped him get
That's
down.
Caden.
We helped him get down. Anyway, and yeah, so then we went and did a show. And I did do a sell, right? I mean, I covered the cost and everything. So it was good. It went okay. But yeah, things have been crazy. And then we got back. And that was Monday. And we got back. And then I got really sick. Tuesday and Wednesday I've been sick, and so today's Thursday, and I'm finally feeling a little better, but been working hard all day, and I just finally went and had a little soak in the tub because I'm trying to feel better, Anyway, so I haven't read for days and days, and I have guilt. So here I am in my jammies, looking awful with my children being wild and crazy.
Look at
The
my
house
dress.
is kind of a mess
It
because
looks
I've been
cute.
sick. Oh, look, we're matchy. You're pink and I'm pink.
Yeah, except you're entirely pink and I'm half pink.
Yeah, you're pink.
Because I got
and
white.
But we both have hearts, see?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. Right. You like it, huh? Because it has a light in it.
Yay!
This was.
Yay!
Anyway, so we're back to finish our story. So we are getting close to the end of Evelina, and I did get today. I got for heaven's sake, Anne of Green Gables books, all 8 of them. They're small, quite smaller than I expected, which means they're probably very abridged, which it might be a good thing. I love the Anne of Green Gables books. I love them. But one thing about Ellen Montgomery and her writing, because I've read so many of her books when I was young, just a sexist, is that she does okay, all right, that's good. She does so much descriptive that there will be times when there will be 3 pages of her describing a field of flowers, right? Which it's a little excessive. So lots of times I would actually skip through quite large portions of the book. I'm like, I get it. It's a beautiful meadow. I love it. Okay. But it's a little too descriptive for me, some of her stories. So I usually had a tendency to skip through a page or two, a lot, because there was so much description, which in a way she kind of reminds me of Anne herself. And that's probably puts a little bit of herself in the character of Anne, because Anne, had such a vivid imagination and everything was so beautiful and romantic, and so I imagine that she was a lot like Anne. But so they are small, not the big thick ones like I read when I was little. So they are quite abridged. So I'm thinking they might actually be kind of fun, a little more fun to read, just because they don't get a little too carried away. Anyway, before we get started, what did you have for dinner? I did, my weird thing, I guess. I just like to
Want some coffee?
Hi. Oh, Kaden's saying hi. Oh,
Want
she
some
wants
coffee?
to show you the coffee cup earrings.
You want some?
With little red flowers in them. Cute, right? I made roast for dinner the other day, and I also made French bread the other day. So we had French dip sandwiches. Excuse me. And they were so yummy. And I just did a veggie tray with a ton of veggies. There were 7 or 8 veggies on the veggie tray, and then kind of an onion dip with them, and French dip sandwiches, and they were good.
Hello, I'm a turtle.
A turtle. That's quite the show. Anyway, Kaylissa apparently is in great need of attention. Oh, you saying hi? You're so precious. Oh, and then Kaylissa already showed you one. Oh, where's the other one? Kaylissa already showed you one pair of earrings, so I'll show you another. How about these ones? Oh, you like those. How about these ones? These are little moons, and they have a like the kind of bronze
I have
metal
a turtle.
frame, and then they have a
slow.
kind of a purpley gray
Hello.
shell, and then gold in them, so they're kind of golden.
Get your hand.
I don't know, burgundy. I don't know what's that color. It's kind of a purple gray, I guess, on the shells. Anyway, they're really, really cute. These ones are a little heavier than some of the others because. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I poke you with my finger?
I am
now?
a turtle.
Anyway, they have that metal
can tell
frame,
with
so they're a
my
little
big
heavier
shell.
than just the plain resin.
Here's my shell.
It does kind of look like a turtle shell, but they're about
I
like
just wanted
this.
to show you my shell.
Okay, well I'm going to be reading now, so don't be talking or noisy. Anyway, here we go. Back to the story. Now, if you're just like listening in sequence, then it's not like it hasn't been a week. But for me, it's been a week since I read, so I'm kind of trying to remember where we're at. She's avoiding Lord Orville because she got Sir Arthur Villar's letter saying you're just going to allow yourself to fall in love with him, and that he's not a consistently good person, right? I mean, most of the time he's super nice, and so then you're falling madly in love with him, but you've gotten this letter from him that shows what kind of a person he can be, right? And I think it's interesting because I think this is kind of you see it a lot in modern times where women or men will meet a person, right? So a man or a woman will meet another person and they'll show their best side, of course, because you do when you first meet people. They're not going to see, all the baggage and all the bad parts. You're putting up a really good front. And lots of times they can hide, some of the problems for years. You can fall in love. And these women, there's almost always signs, but you ignore them because, you're excited or you like this person. But deep down, like she knows that he wrote this nasty letter, right? But he's so sweet to her that she just lets it go. But it shows how disrespectful he is and how rude he can treat her, which she doesn't want to be with a man that's rude and disrespectful, right? And I think in modern times and back then too, we forget to. You're so caught up in the good things that people will commit to something, and then they'll be like, "Oh, this was dumb. I shouldn't have done it." It's like, yeah, you made a bad choice. It wasn't like you didn't know that was going to happen. This person, right? So I think it's kind of not a metaphor, but a good, what's even the word? Just, it's kind of how it is even back then and even now, Just make sure that that they're a good person before you commit to them, or you'll save yourself a lot of grief throughout your life. Anyway, sorry, I went off on a tangent, but here we are, letter 14. So this is Evelina to the Reverend Mr. Villars, Clifton, October 3rd. This morning I saw from my window that Lord Orville was walking in the garden. You want to show something? What is it? Oh,
this is my coloring book that I can also read from.
It's a little, so we barely got these. They're kind of like the Sam books, if people know about Sam books, or the first grade readers. So they're real simple. So it's Matt, Sam, yeah. Matt sat, Sam sat, Matt sat on Sam, Sam sat on Matt, for first grade readers because she's in first grade. But they weren't very colored. So she reads them and then she gets to color them, which is really, really fun. She loves it and she's reading. She's doing really well. I'm proud of her. Yeah, there's like 10 of them. So she's excited to get to read them all and color them all. Anyway, it's fun to have her reading and doing well halfway through the year.
Look at Caden, he's right here.
Yep, here you are. Should we put the camera down so you can see him better? There you are, because he's so handsome. Yeah, so handsome.
I love Caden. He's my friend.
He is.
Sometimes he does actually help, and sometimes he stinker helps.
Yeah, sometimes he's not helpful at all. But he's that. You little mess maker, huh? I love you.
Hey, watch this. Blah.
Oh,
go blah.
He usually does it. Try it again.
Blah. Caden.
He's too preoccupied with his
Caden. Blah. 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 Say blah.
He's not going to do it. Okay, we're going to read now. I'll just start over.
Bleh.
Oh, there he goes.
Bleh.
Okay, we are just being crazy today. This is like a messed up day. Okay, I'm going to read now. Don't be noisy. This morning I saw from my window that Lord Orville was walking in the garden, but I would not go downstairs till breakfast was ready, and then he paid me his compliments almost as coldly as Lady Louisa paid hers. I took my usual place, and Mrs. Beaumont, Lady Louisa, and Mrs. Selwyn entered into their usual conversation. Not so your Evelina. Disregarded, silent, and melancholy, she sat like a cipher, whom to nobody belonging, by nobody was noticed. Ill-brooking such a situation, and unable to support the neglect of Lord Orville, the moment breakfast was over, I left the room and was going upstairs, when very unpleasantly I was stopped by Sir Clement Willoughby, who, flying from the hall, prevented my proceeding. What are you doing? Pumpkin? He inquired very particularly after my health, and entreated me to return into the parlour. Unwillingly I consented, but thought anything preferable to continuing alone with him, and he would rather neither leave me nor suffer me to pass. You are so noisy. Yet in returning I felt not a little ashamed of preparing thus to take the visit of Sir Clement to myself, and indeed he endeavoured by his manners of addressing me to give it that air. He stayed, I believe, an hour, nor would he, perhaps, even then have gone, had not Mrs. Beaumont broken up the party by proposing an airing in her coach. Lady Louisa consented to accompany her, but Mrs. Selwyn, when applied to, said, "If my lord or Sir Clement will join us, I shall be happy to make one, but really a trio of females will be nervous to the last degree." Sir Clement readily agreed to attend them. Indeed, he makes it his evident study to court the favour of Mrs. Beaumont. Lord Orville excused himself from going out, and I returned to my own room. What he did with himself I know not, for I would not go downstairs till dinner was ready. His coldness, though my own change of behaviour has occasioned it, so cruelly depresses my spirits that I know not how to support myself in his presence. At dinner I found Sir Clement again of the party. Indeed, he manages everything his own way, for Mrs. Beaumont, though by no means easy to please, seems quite at his disposal. The dinner, the afternoon, and the evening were to me the most irksome imaginable. I was tormented by the assiduity of Sir Clement, who not only took but made opportunities of speaking to me. Caden, look, you're making a mess. Don't make a mess. Here, leave them up here. They're so pretty. Leave them here. I was organizing a whole bin full of earrings, and so they're kind of laid up here nice, and he's just reaching up, grabbing handfuls and plopping them on the floor. I was tormented by the assiduity of Sir Clement, who not only took, but made opportunities of speaking to me, and I was hurt, oh how inexpressibly hurt, that Lord Orville not only forbear, as hitherto, seeking, he even neglected all occasions of talking with me. I begin to think, my dear sir, that the sudden alteration in my behaviour was ill-judged and improper, for as I had received no offence, as the cause of the change was upon my account, not his, I should not have assumed so abruptly a reserve for which I dared assign no reason, nor have shunned his presence so obviously without considering the strange appearance of such conduct. Alas, my dearest sir, that my reflections should always be too late to serve me. Indeed, I do purchase experience. Oh, dearly indeed do I purchase experience. And much I fear I shall suffer yet more severely from the needless indiscretion of my temper, ere I attain that prudence and consideration which, by foreseeing distant consequences, may rule and direct in present exigencies. October 4th. Yesterday morning everybody rode out, except Mrs. Selwyn and myself, and we two sat for some time together in her room. But as soon as I could, I quitted her to saunter in the garden, for she diverts herself so unmercifully with rallying me, either upon my gravity or concerning Lord Orville, that I dread having any conversation with her. Here I believe I spent an hour by myself, when, hearing the garden gate open, I went into an arbour at the end of a long walk, where, ruminating very unpleasantly upon my future prospects, I remained quietly seated but a few minutes before I was interrupted by the appearance of Sir Clement Willoughby. I started, and would have left the arbour, but he prevented me. Indeed, I am almost certain he had heard in the house where I was, as it is not otherwise probable he would have strolled down the garden alone. "Stop, stop," cried he, "loveliest and most beloved of women. Stop and hear me." "What did you do?" "Oh, so pretty." He pulled one earring off a card and he's carrying it around in this massive laundry basket. "Oh, it's so pretty." Yeah. Cute, huh? No, you can't even see it. Oh, he likes it because it's a ball. Whenever he sees the ones that are like, he's ball, ball. Here's the other one. Let me show you because it's really cute. So it's green on the top and then it goes down to a kind of cream on the bottom. And then it has a little faux diamond, dangly part. I don't even know how to describe it. A spacer right here with little diamonds on it. Anyway, sparkling and cute. There you go. There's the other one. Okay, back to the reading. Then, making me keep my place, he sat down by me and would have taken my hand, but I drew it back and said I could not stay. "Can you then," cried he, "refuse me even the smallest gratification, though but yesterday I almost suffered martyrdom for the pleasure of seeing you?" "Martyrdom, Sir Clement?" "Yes, beauteous and sensible, martyrdom. For did I not compel myself to be immersed in a carriage the tedious length of a whole morning with the three most fatiguing women in England?" "Upon my word, the ladies are extremely obliged to you." "Oh," returned he, "they have every one of them so copious a share of their own personal esteem that they have no right to repine at the failure of it in the world, and indeed they will themselves be the last to discover it." "How little," cried I, "are those ladies aware of such severity from you?" "They are guarded," answered he, "so happily and so securely by their own conceit that they are not aware of it from anybody. Oh, Miss Anville, to be torn away from you in order to be shut up with them, is there a human being, except your cruel self, could forbear to pity me? I believe, Sir Clement, however hardly you may choose to judge of them, your situation, by the world in general, would rather have been envied than pitied." "The world in general," answered he, "has the same opinion of them that I have myself. Mrs. Beaumont is everywhere laughed at, Lady Louisa ridiculed, and Mrs. Selwyn hated." "Good heaven, Sir Clement, what cruel strength of words do you use?" "It is you, my angel, are to blame, since your perfections have rendered their faults so glaring. I protest to you, during our whole ride I thought the carriage drawn by snails. The absurd pride of Mrs. Beaumont and the respect she exacts are at once insufferable and stupefying. Had I never before been in her company, I should have concluded that this had been her first airing from the Herald's office, and wished her nothing worse than that it might also be the last." Wow. "I assure you that but for gaining the freedom of her house, I would fly her as I would plague, pestilence, and famine. Mrs. Selwyn, indeed, afforded some relief from this formality, but the unbounded license of her tongue." "Oh, Sir Clement, do you object to that?" That's funny. "Yes, my sweet reproacher, in a woman I do. In a woman I think it intolerable. She has wit, I acknowledge, and more understanding than half her sex put together. But she keeps alive a perpetual expectation of satire that spreads a general uneasiness among all who are in her presence, and she talks so much that even the best things she says weary the attention. As to the little Louisa, 'tis such a pretty piece of languor that 'tis almost cruel to speak rationally about her, else I should say she is a mere compound of affectation, impertinence, and airs." "I am quite amazed," said I, "that with such opinions you can behave to them all with such attention and civility." "Civility! My angel, why I could worship, could adore them, only to procure myself a moment of your conversations. Have you not seen me pay my court to the gross Captain Mervyn and the Virago? I don't even know what that means. Madame Duval, were it possible that a creature so horrid... Oh, you are so noisy. Come here.
Too noisy. You're so loud.
Oh, here, did the top come off your car? Mwah, I'll fix it. Here you go. Throw it right away. There you go. I love you.
Mama.
What? You're so sweet. Okay. Where was it? Oh my goodness, I'm tired. Were it possible that a creature so horrid could be formed as to partake of the worst qualities of all these characters, a creature who could have the haughtiness of Mrs. Beaumont, the brutality of Captain Mervyn, the self-conceit of Mrs. Selwyn, the affectation of Lady Louisa, and the vulgarity of Madame Duval, even to such a monster as that, I would pay homage, and pour forth adulation, only to obtain one word, one look from my adored Miss Anville. Wow, he's kind of laying it on thick. Sir Clement, said I, you are greatly mistaken if you suppose such duplicity of character recommends you to my good opinion. But I must take this opportunity of begging you never more to talk to me in this strain. Oh, Miss Anville, your reproofs, your coldness pierce me to the soul. Look upon me with less rigour, and make me what you please. You shall govern and direct all my actions. You shall new form, remodel me. I will not have even a wish but of your suggestion. Only deign to look upon me with pity, if not with favour. Wow. Yeah, he's not a good person. Suffer me, sir, said I very gravely, to make use of this occasion to put a final conclusion to such expressions. You're so noisy. Hey. What? Okay. What do you want to show?
This is what Sam looks like.
Oh, she wants to show Sam.
That's what Sam looks like. That's what Sam looks like.
Matt and Sam.
Yeah, they're friends.
Cute. Suffer me, sir, said I very gravely, to make use of this occasion to put a final conclusion to such expressions. I entreat you never again to address me in a language so flighty and so unwelcome. You have already given me great uneasiness, and I most frankly assure you that if you do not desire to banish me from wherever you are, you will adopt a very different style and conduct in future. I then rose and was going, but he flung himself at my feet to prevent me, exclaiming in a most passionate manner, Good heaven, Miss Anville, what do you say? Can it be possible that so unmoved, that with such petrifying indifference you can tear from me even the remotest hope? Here. Oh, here you go. Here you go. Goodness. Where was I? I know not, sir, said I, endeavouring to disengage myself from him, what hope you mean, but I am sure that I never intended to give you any. Oh, what are you going to tell?
Hey, if you have children, then you can actually buy those coloring books that you can also read if you have enough money. And if your children are almost in first grade.
Yeah, because they're excellent for first readers, huh? You distract me, cried he. I cannot endure such scorn. I beseech you to have some moderation in your cruelty, lest you make me desperate. Say then that you pity me, O fairest, inexorable, loveliest tyrant, Say, tell me at least that you pity me. Just then, who should come in sight, as if intending to pass by the arbour, but Lord Orville? Good heaven, how did I start? And he, the moment he saw me, turned pale and was hastily retiring, but I called out, Lord Orville, Sir Clement, release me, let go my hand. Sir Clement, in some confusion, suddenly rose, but still grasped my hand. Lord Orville, who had turned back, was again walking away, but still struggling to disengage myself. I called out, Pray, pray, my lord, don't go. Sir Clement, I insist upon your releasing me. Oh, Caden, he's just writing on the wall. You little farmer. Oh. Don't write on the wall. Here, you can write on a paper. Here you go. You can write on paper. Don't write on the wall. Oh my goodness, I have never had a child that's more obsessed with markers and pens than he is. Holy cow. He writes on everything. Couches, chairs, floors, the fridge, the cabinets, walls, doors. Okay. Lord Orville, then hastily approaching us, said with great spirit, Sir Clement, you cannot wish to detain Miss Anville by force. Neither, my lord, cried Sir Clement proudly, do I request the honour of your lordship's interference. However, he let go my hand, and I immediately ran into the house. I was now frightened to death lest Sir Clement's mortified pride should provoke him to affront Lord Orville. What?
Hello, my name's Foxy. Hi.
Yep, there's Foxy. Didn't Mandy buy
that
for you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I have a box to me and it fell off. Yeah, my box is removable.
Okay, gotta get back to reading.
Bye.
He's just waving. I love you, baby.
My baby brother loves Foxy.
Oh, he does. He loves plushies like you do.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's afraid that because Lord Orville interfered, Sir Clement might challenge him, and back then they could actually challenge each other to a duel and fight to the death. I mean, it's kind of a big deal to interfere with something somebody was doing, even if it was wrong. They could fight on it. I therefore ran hastily to Mrs. Selwyn and entreated her, in a manner hardly to be understood, to walk towards the arbour. She asked no questions, for she is quick as lightning in taking a hint, but instantly hastened into the garden. Imagine, my dear sir, how wretched I must be till I saw her return. Scarce could I restrain myself from running back. However, I checked my impatience and waited, though in agonies, till she came. And now, my dear sir, I have a conversation to write, the most interesting to me that I ever heard. The comments and questions with which Mrs. Selwyn interrupted her account I shall not mention, for they are such as you may very easily suppose. Lord Orville and Sir Clement were both seated very quietly in the arbour, and Mrs. Selwyn, standing still as soon as she was within a few yards of them, heard Sir Clement say, Your question, my lord, alarms me, and I can by no means answer it unless you will allow me to propose another. Undoubtedly, sir. You ask me, my lord, what are my intentions. I should be very happy to be satisfied as to your lordship's. I have never, sir, professed any. Okay, listen, be careful, because you're kind of banging around, and we have downstairs neighbors. Here they were both for a few moments silent, and then Sir Clement said, To what, my lord, must I then impute your desire of knowing mine? To an unaffected interest in Miss Anville's welfare. Such an interest, said Sir Clement dryly, is indeed very generous, but except in a father, a brother, or a lover. Sir Clement, interrupted his lordship, I know your inference, and I acknowledge I have not the right of enquiry which any of those three titles bestow, and yet I confess the warmest wishes to serve her and to see her happy. Will you then excuse me if I take the liberty to repeat my question? Yes, if your lordship will excuse me by repeating that I think it a rather extraordinary one. "It may be so," said Lord Orville, "but this young lady seems to be particularly situated. She is very young, very inexperienced, yet appears to be left totally to her own direction. She does not, I believe, see the dangers to which she is exposed, and I will own to you I feel a strong desire to point them out." "I don't rightly understand your lordship, but I think you cannot mean to prejudice her against me." "Her sentiments of you, sir, are as much unknown to me as your intentions towards her. Perhaps, were I acquainted with either, my officiousness might be at an end, but I presume not to ask upon what terms." Here he stopped, and Sir Clement said, "You know, my lord, I am not given to despair. I am by no means such a puppy as to tell you I am upon sure ground. However, perseverance—" "You are then determined to persevere?" "I am, my lord." "Pardon me then, Sir Clement, if I speak to you with freedom. This young lady, though she seems alone and in some measure unprotected, is not entirely without friends. She has been extremely well educated and accustomed to good company. She has a natural love of virtue, and a mind that might adorn any situation, however exalted. Is such a young lady, Sir Clement, a proper object to trifle with? For your principles, excuse me, sir, are well known." "As to that, my lord, let Miss Anville look to herself. She has an excellent understanding, and needs no counsellor." "Her understanding is indeed excellent, but she is too young for suspicion, and has an artlessness of disposition that I never saw equalled." "My lord," cried Sir Clement warmly, "your praises make me doubt your disinterestedness, and there exists not the man who I would so unwillingly have for a rival as yourself. But you must give me leave to say, you have greatly deceived me in regard to this affair." "How so, sir?" cried Lord Orville with equal warmth. "You were pleased, my lord," answered Sir Clement, "upon our first conversation concerning this young lady, to speak of her in terms by no means suited to your present encomiums. You said she was a poor, weak, ignorant girl, and I had great reason to believe you had a most contemptuous opinion of her." "It is very true," said Lord Orville, "that I did not, at our first acquaintance, do justice to the merit of Miss Anville. But I knew not then how new she was to the world. At present, however, I am convinced that whatever might appear strange in her behavior was simply the effect of inexperience, timidity, and a retired education, for I find her informed, sensible, and intelligent. She is not, indeed, like most modern young ladies, to be known in half an hour. Her modest worth and fearful excellence require both time and encouragement to show themselves. She does not, beautiful as she is, seize the soul by surprise, but with more dangerous fascination, she stills it almost imperceptibly." Wow! "Enough, my lord," cried Sir Clement. "Your solicitude for her welfare is now sufficiently explained." "My friendship and esteem," returned Lord Orville, "I do not wish to disguise. But assure yourself, Sir Clement, I should not have troubled you upon this subject had Miss Anville and I ever conversed but as friends. However, since you do not choose to avow your intentions, we must drop the subject." "My intentions," cried he, "I will frankly own, are hardly known to myself. I think Miss Anville the loveliest of her sex, and, were I a marrying man, she, of all the women I have seen, I would fix upon for a wife. But I believe that not even the philosophy of your lordship would recommend to me a connection of that sort with a girl of obscure birth, whose only dowry is her beauty, and who is evidently in a state of dependency." "Sir Clement," cried Lord Orville with some heat, "we will discuss this point no further. We are both free agents, and must act for ourselves." Here Mrs. Selwyn, fearing a surprise, and finding my apprehension of danger were groundless, retired hastily into another walk, and soon after came to give me this account. Good heaven! What a man is this Sir Clement! So designing, though so easy! so deliberately artful, though so flighty. Greatly, however, is he mistaken, all confident as he seems, for the girl, obscure, poor, dependent as she is, far from wishing the honour of his alliance, would not only now, but always have rejected it. As to Lord Orville, but I will not trust my pen to mention him. Tell me, my dear sir, what you think of him. Tell me if he is not the noblest of men, and if you can either wonder at or blame my admiration. The idea of being seen by either party immediately after so singular a conversation was both awkward and distressing to me, but I was obliged to appear at dinner. Sir Clement, I saw, was absent and uneasy. He watched me. He watched Lord Orville, and was evidently disturbed in his mind. Whenever he spoke to me, I turned from him with undisguised disdain, for I am too much irritated against him to bear with his ill-meant assiduities any longer. But not once, not a moment did I dare meet the eyes of Lord Orville. All consciousness myself, I dreaded his penetration, and directed mine every way but towards his. The rest of the day I never quitted Mrs. Selwyn. Adieu, my dear sir. Tomorrow I expect your directions whether I am to return. Oh, don't let him fall off the bed. Oh, my head. He just almost fell off the bed. Head first. Be careful! Sorry, they're so noisy. That's how it is. Little children, busy mama, noisy baby. He is a handful. The rest of the day I never quitted Mrs. Selwyn. Adieu, my dear sir. Tomorrow I expect your directions whether I am to return to Berry Hill or once more to visit London. Okay, that is the end of chapter 14. It's kind of a long one. Plus we had lots of interruptions, so let me check. If it's more than a page or two, we won't read. Oh yeah, this next one's pretty long too, so yeah, we'll just maybe hopefully tomorrow. Let's see, what's tomorrow? Friday? Yeah, I have a show Saturday and Sunday, an event that goes until like 10 o'clock at night. So there's no way I'll be reading Saturday or Sunday, but probably Monday. And that's what I thought last week, but that didn't work out. But yeah, I'll most likely be back on Monday. So wish me luck. Send me good vibes. It's quite an expensive show to do. It's a home show, so it's a big fancy, with people who sell flooring and faucets and, everything to do with, homes. It's a big home show and it's quite expensive to have a booth. But I'm going to be there for 2 days selling knives, so send me good vibes and hopefully I'll sell thousands of dollars and then I'll take care of some very stressful situations. So that'd be great. Anyway, so I will read tomorrow, but then we'll be out for a couple of days. Yeah, for heaven's sake, do not come on here and pick your nose. Gross. Okay, such is life. Be silly. All right, Kayla said don't. That's gross. Okay, I'm going to go and we will see you next time. Thanks for stopping by. Spend a little bit of your time with us here at the Story Corner for story time. And this book is almost over, only a few more chapters, and then we'll start Anne of Green Gables. With all the shows I'm doing and how much time I'm taking off, it might be almost April before we start. Kayla said, be careful. Oh, my goodness. I thought she was going to drop him. Anyway, but yeah, it'll be in the next week or two. So excited about that. So we will see you next time.